clicked on this video because you want to know how to service the brakes on your Ram Promaster. It's important for you to know that there are 3 videos in this series, one for the front brakes, one for the rear brakes, and a third one on how to bleed your brakes. In each video, I will show you the materials you need in order to do the job, and then I will take you step by step and show you how to change out the brakes and rotors using just a few hand tools. It's easy and you can do it, and you'll save yourself a lot of money and you'll know that it's done right. Please use the links in our description to get your materials. That really helps us out. Also, subscribe, and if you have a Ram Promaster, be sure to check out section 16 of our website. That is all about the maintenance for the Ram Promaster. So let's get on with the video. First, the materials you need to get the job done. These are the part numbers for the brake pads and rotor for the rear of the Ram Promaster. The rotor is AR8395 EVC, and the brake pads are Z361840. We're using the Truck and Tow Extreme Carbon Fiber brake pads. Both of these are Power Stop products. Please use our links that are in the description. That would really help us out. And you'll notice on the box here, the vehicle position is rear. These are all the materials that you'll need to do the rear brakes. Of course, brake cleaner, anti-seize, brake parts lubricant, 6mm Allen, 12mm socket, 22mm socket, a 21mm socket to remove the lug bolts, a ratchet adapter for your breaker bar, which will make removing the lug bolts much easier, a little stubby 1/4-inch ratchet, a 1/2-inch to 3/8-inch adapter, a 3/8-inch socket, a large C-clamp, safety glasses, of course, to keep our hands clean, an encouragement stick, basically a pipe, a wire brush, a little magnetic parts holder, and of course, a breaker bar. Those are the things that you need to remove and replace the rear brakes and rotors. Here's your brake caliper. Up top here, you're going to have this little rubber piece that pops off. Don't lose this. Very important to keep water from getting in here. And then you're going to need a 6. This is an H6. See how beautifully clean that bolt is? That's why it's important to make sure that that rubber piece stays in there. I'm just putting that back in, and there's one on the bottom that we have to get to. And the next one's right down here. This little plastic cap comes off. It's a little bit different. And you go to take that one off. This one is going to be a little difficult. You're going to have to get the stubby. Now, you wouldn't think that this little stubby wrench would come in handy, but it has saved me many times. Highly recommend you have one of those. And that is going to slide out just like that. And you see that's more of a pin than it is a bolt. I guess it's both a pin and a bolt. Right over here, there's this metal clip that we're going to bend. I'm going to take that off there so we can pull this out. And I lost my little metal clip. I'm going to go find that. All right, so that this has some more length to it. Be sure to come over and loosen this cap for your brake fluid reservoir. And disconnect the electric sensor. That'll pry right off. That's attached to the brake pad. You just unclip it right here. Didn't realize I shut the cameras off, but I put a C-clamp in here to compress the piston. And once that piston is compressed, this should come off without any problem. This thing is heavy, and you don't want it to hang on that brake cable. So gently put it back here and make sure it's nicely supported. So these brake pads look wonderful. There's nothing wrong with these brakes at all. But here I am at almost 100,000 miles, and I am going to replace these brakes because I have all the materials to do so. Also, this rotor is beautifully smooth without a lot of edge on it. It also looks excellent. But we're here now, so we're going to get this job done. So the pads will come off nice and easy. At this point, we could put the new pads on here and put everything back together and be done. But I have the rotors and I want to replace these rotors. So that means I have to remove this bracket. So that's the next step. So to remove this bracket, you're going to need a 22 millimeter socket. There's an upper and lower bolt. 22 millimeter bolts are on incredibly tight, may be seized up. So we hit it with some of this PB blaster, and hopefully in a few minutes we'll go after it again and they'll break free. These are the original rotors and the original brake pads, and I'm really surprised there isn't more wear. While we're waiting for that to loosen up, we can take these pins out of the rotor. This is a 12 millimeter. Now this is currently loose. So I was really lucky in that I was able to just snap them off. They weren't in there very tight. So these should have been taken out earlier while the brake pads are still on. Would have made it a lot easier. All right, there's the second bolt. Those were no fun to take out. But then again, the last place that put them in was the factory. And then that slides right off. We got to get this cleaned up and ready for the next set of brake pads. So I'm very lucky because usually these are in a lot worse condition and a lot more difficult to take off. And you usually have to pound these things a few times with a hammer to get them off. But this one was loose,
And behind this are the emergency brakes. And these here are the e-brakes. And I'm not going to do anything with those because they're in really good shape. And I use this tool right here. There'll be links in the description for all these things. Not very expensive and well worth it to make it easy to polish that up. If that's not polished up and flat, you could end up with a problem down the line where you've got some shimmy while you're driving. You don't want that. These are the rotors I selected. They're from Power Stop. They have a geomet coating on them so they won't rust as quickly. This one here is the rear rotor. It is AR8395EVC. It is a vented rotor. Make sure before you order that you find out if yours are vented or not, and it's easy just to look at the side, and if you see these slots right here, it's a vented rotor. And then for the front, it's AR93EVC. These are the rotors I selected. These are standard rotors. They're not drilled and slotted. In my research, sometimes the drilled rotors would end up with some hairline cracks, and I didn't want that. So I got the standard rotors. These do have a coating on them so that they do not rust. Now, we need to make sure that we line this rotor up with these two threaded holes right there, because we got to put these pins back in, and they go all the way through and hold the rotor on. Just snug those up a little bit. Okay, next we're going to take these old clips off of here. I'm going to use the wire brush, and we're going to clean this all up and then clean it off a little bit with some of the brake cleaner. Make sure everything's nice and clean so things will fit back together easily. So in the rear brake pad box, you're going to have two sets of pads. Of course, one of them is going to have the sensor. Nice stainless steel shims on them. And you're going to have these clips. So line those up because they're going to have 4 that are one direction and 4 in the other direction. And they even provide you with a little bit of lubrication and even show you where you should apply some of it. Clips are on. They got a little spring to them. Brake parts lubricant and anti-seize are not interchangeable. Use the lubricant for the brake pads. Use the anti-seize for the bolts. So now we're going to put the brakes back together again. I'm going to take and push this slide out and lube it up. See right in here, push your finger in there, be able to slide this all the way out. And it's nice and slickery, right? You can see there's a little wear right there. So we're going to use some of this brake parts lubricant. Pretty purple stuff. We're going to lather this thing up, and then we're going to put it back in. because it's nice and clean and pretty. And this will keep things sliding, keep things working right. Now we go back and install our bracket. All right, next we install the pads. We go on nice and easy. That's one. It's two. So far, so good. Gonna take and feed this through right here. And that slides right on there. You gotta make sure you don't pinch this piece of rubber. Check the one on the bottom. I hit this one with a little cleaner. And this one right here, we definitely got to clean that up because that's the pin it slides on. It's in good shape. We're going to lube it up. Got this one in down here. We got to tighten those up. I hit this here with a little bit of this lubricant. Once you got these caps on securely, make sure your sensor's attached. And the next thing to do would be to bleed the brakes, which is in a separate video. And then put the tire back on.
One of these holes is larger, and it allows you to put one of the bolts on before placing that in place. The last thing to say is to be sure that you do the break-in procedure, and on the inside of the brake pad box has the steps you need to take. Break-in procedure is critical for proper brake performance. So once you've done this, you should be good for tens of thousands of miles with your new brake pads and rotors.
I wanna find freedom faster before the daylight turns to gray. I wanna find freedom faster and spend it all on today. It's not a race to the finish line, it's just the comfort of your hand in mine. Yeah, we're gonna find freedom faster.